to make the whole structure around the hip stronger. Okay. So we'll do
Okay.
that just as kind of like workshoppy feedback for yourself. And then we'll move into the class. And I think what we'll try to do is more squats, like using your kind of full range of motion. Okay, so this is going to be a little more workshoppy, but I think um, it should be helpful. So when we come down, I'm going to put that just um, right over the knees. Yep, and lie all the way back. Yep. So everyone is going to have like a different degree of that lumbar curve, just depending on the shape of your spine. And the way I find what is most neutral is start to do cat cows just in your pelvis, and you'll feel that the cow exaggerates the curve and the cat flattens the curve. Okay. And once you've done that a few times, I allow the movement to get smaller and smaller, eventually coming into stillness and feeling where the pelvis low back lands. 3 breaths together. Inhale, exhale. You can even keep a little tension on your strap. Inhale, exhale, and then just one more. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to lift up in to bridge pose, but it's not trying to take as much of a upper back bend. It's actually trying to imagine like that the floor kind of like just shifted, that still you feel the drawing of the tailbone long and maintaining that natural curve to your lumbar spine. Not exactly sure how strong your strap is, but if you can press a little bit out to keep the tension, and then just play, I kind of want you to constantly think like the outer hip, kind of holding you here, low back long, and then set your hips all the way down. Okay. I think you left the mute open, which is great. Can you give me feedback? Do you feel, and no, I want you to leave it. I want you
Oh,
to leave
okay.
it because I want you to be able to talk to me. Do you feel, is the strap strong enough that you feel a little bit of work there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, if the strap, if the strap is like really the loose ones, you may not feel anything. Okay, I want you to lift up again. So there's a feeling of the pubic bone pressing slightly up towards the ceiling. Press out through inner knee to outer knee, and just hold here and see by having the stability if the belly can soften, not gripping there, and then lower the hips down. Yep. And I already start to feel like a little bit of like a reset, and then one more time. So from the side body, what this looks like for me is a straight diagonal line from the outer knee joint through the outer hip joint to the shoulder. Kind of picture your skeleton and just get enough work going. You should feel a little bit of inner thigh, a little bit of pelvic floor. All of this works together to stabilize your low back. Okay, and then lower your hips down. Okay, now you're going to pick up your feet, but as soon as the feet pick up, did you lose lumbar curve? So all I need you to do, and if you want to exaggerate, Maria, you can really try to keep cow pose. And then our movement is going to be letting that left toe tap forward and down. Yep. So push the left knee forward. Okay. So instead of just tapping the toe, though, make sure you're moving that left knee forward enough that you feel the resistance. Okay. So right leg is stabilizing. Low back is not moving. So the stronger, think about like a foundation, the stronger your hip joint is, right? That's a strong foundation. The less pressure is going to go into the low back. Good. And then you're going to top for 3, 2, absolutely no movement in the spine. If you can do that, and 1. Good. Bring that back up to center. Tap both feet down. Okay. And then both feet up. Stabilize through left knee. Take that pause. I'm probably going to say it a lot, maybe a little more cow if you need to. You can overwork that today and then begin to press that right knee forward. Yep. Okay. So other things you can be feeling is on the left side body, you should feel the left hip flexor slightly engaged, the lower left abdominals engaging, kind of pull the belly button back towards the spine, like you're cinching in through your corset as you go for 3, 2, control all the way down and all the way forward. 1 more, bring it back up, and then let it have a break as you lower down. Good. Okay. Now, same thing of that bridge, come up into your bridge without over exaggerating the back bend. Yep. And now I want you to begin to press out. Okay. So when you press out, we want to control on the way out and on the way in. And you're going to go for 5 more. 5, 4, we don't have to be in a hurry. For 3, 2, and then on this last one, where I want you to hold it out and take little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold until you feel like a really strong burn. And then release. Let the hips come all the way down. Let it relax. And so what actually happens is that I feel like I'm like this tension and melt out of the hips when I get to set them down. Do you feel that at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have 1 more. Inhale, lift it up. Because usually by the second time we can like continue to refine. And then we're gonna start to press out. 10, 9, rolling to the pinky edge sides of the feet. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold out and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Stabilize through the low back. 2, 1. Hold almost until you can't hold any longer. And then set your hips down. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, we're going to move the strap over the knees up towards your ankles. Okay, so it becomes even more exaggerated that when we straighten the legs, it might pull on your low back more. So reestablish lumbar curve. And then it's the same thing. Begin, lock through the ankles, and start to press. 10, 9. You should feel this move in deeper into the hips and like around your sacrum. Okay, and you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you press out, pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Belly button back in 3, 2, 1. Hold. Hopefully get to the point where there's a little bit of shaking. And then when you need to release, just tap your feet down onto the mat and let those muscles soften. Feel how your spine rebounds. Inhale. And then last set from here, take your legs up, spread through the toes, feel the fronts of the legs engage, and begin 10, pressing out to your end range of motion. Yep, so if the ankles and the knees are really locked, it's gonna have to put all the work into strengthening your hip joint as you continue for your last 5, 4, 3, It's not a big range of motion, but let it be strong. And as you hold that out, you pulse 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And then release. Good. I'm gonna have you take that strap off here. Yep. Take that off. And then come up to find seated. And you can turn to face me. Okay. So stabilizing now the front of your core, right? Supporting the low back again. Okay, hands are gonna come out to the side. I feel like you just turn my fingertips out. Yep, it's a little like less intense. And then now, really draw your knees in towards your chest, right? And flex your spine. Like tuck under, feel the low back long, and then begin to extend the legs forward, hovering them over the floor if they need to be a little bit up, or if you don't even fully straighten them, right? If straighten them takes you out of your core, and then tuck in. Extend them forward. I'd prefer less straight and keep that dialed in. Good. The inhales, we go out, and the exhales, you squeeze in. I do kind of like look towards my belly button and kind of vacuum that in for your last 3, 2, 1. Good. Lower the feet down. Just come to seated. Sit tall. Hold on to your knees. As you hold on to your knees, can you pull and reestablish lumbar curve there? You should feel the spine deep into the center of the body. Inhale. Exhale. Hands back behind you. Last one from here. Knees together. Full tuck. I think like my kneecaps are moving towards my eyebrows, and then extend out. Inhale. Or still tucking the tailbone. And 8, 7. So we try to kind of keep it out of the shoulders, belly button back and in. 3, 2, 1. Release. Sit tall. Hold on to the knees. Hold the spine deep into the center of the body. Good. And then extend your legs forward into a wider V. Yep. You're going to take your weight. Take one of your weights. Now, try to really position yourself so that you're on the front of your sitting bones, and then press that up. So when the arms go up overhead, your low back will actually lengthen, kind of vacuum back and in. Inhale. Then exhale, as you pull the weight down towards your chest, you're going to twist. Try to keep your left sitting bone down. And then you control, Maria, how much you extend that out towards your right foot, but staying into core. Good. Come back to center. Yep. Extend that up. Long spine. Push the pubic bone down. Establish your lumbar curve. And then it comes in. I twist into my upper back, and I start to extend away without ever rounding. Good. So definitely today, I really don't care how many we do. I want you to over and over again check. Did you lose lumbar curve as you take the weight away from you? Take it up. That will lengthen the spine. Come through center, twist, and move it away. Still feeling cow through your low back. We're going to do 2 full ones more. So all the way up. Anchor, twist, extends. Right? So it's a lot of times in our daily life. Yep, take them up as you square yourself off. Pull it back down, twist. So right, it's a lot of times in our daily life, like when we're twisting or turning or trying to pick something up, that we tweak our low back. Okay, so make it a really mindful. Good. Extend back through center, weight all the way up through the midline, twist, and then extend back through center. Take it up one more time, weight up over the head. You can even use the weight kind of moving back towards your bed. Yeah, yeah. How about that? Use the arms up overhead to see if you can push your pubic bone down more, lumbar curve. Inhale. Exhale, release that, and then we'll meet in tabletop position. Okay, so the low back also gets weak. Extend your left leg back. As you press your heel up towards the ceiling, let the low belly drop. So now that should allow you to make a really strong lumbar curve. Inhale. And then pull that left knee in towards your nose as you exhale. You're only doing 5 of these. Extend back. I feel the glute, I feel the muscles of my low back engaging, and then pull in, but really get that pause where you squeeze in and up through the core. 3 more. Inhale. See if the exhale helps you as you pull it up. Inhale up and back. Exhale, tuck in. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Okay, come back through center, tabletop position. Now do your cow pose, Maria. Yep, I want to see it in the camera. Good. It's pretty easy, right, to do it sometimes like in the neck and in the upper back. See how much by digging into the toes, you can keep brightening your sitting bones up, and then walk your hands forward and lower your forehead down towards the mat. And allow this to be a little inversion that decompresses your spine. But you never want to just completely let go of the core, right? Get a little bit of that pulling in and up. Always thinking of your muscles wrapping around and kind of squeezing into the low back. Hands come back up underneath your shoulders, right side, right leg extends. Okay. Inhale, pull it in and up, push the floor away, and continue. Drive through the heel. So let your hip flexor and your core strength pull that leg in and up, driving back. And 3, go slow enough that you can feel or even like picture the muscles working. 2, yep, and last one, pulling that in and then release. Tabletop position, re-engage cow. Okay, so your only job is to find cow within your down dog. Nope, it just went to cat. Yep. Nope. Tabletop. I want to see it. Yep. Knees to the mat. I want to see cow first. Yep. Lock your hips. Lift the knees. Better. Knees to the mat. Tabletop. Pull the tailbone up towards the ceiling. I want you to feel your low back muscles engage. Like you should feel those two, they're like ropes of like those are called your spinous erectus. Those muscles working. Keep that rope-like feeling on either side of your lumbar spine as you take your hips up and back. Down dog. That's your only priority, is keeping that. Good. 1 more. Knees down. Yep. It's that full rotation in your hips, cow pose, and then up and back. So my teacher would always say, like, almost like if someone poured like a glass of water from your hips, you would be like creating this like channel, right? Like a what are those called? Like a water slide. Feel those muscles engage as your spine moves deeper into the body. Okay, and then release, knees down to the mat. Okay, hands to your hips. So what we're not going to do today, right foot forward, left foot forward to stand. What we are not going to do is take any full forward folds. Put your hands, Maria, I trace them until I find where that hinge is going to be. Okay. So with that slight bend to the knees, then I hip hinge forward. Yep. Shoulder blades onto the upper back. And essentially, this was kind of like what you were doing laying on your back. You should feel the back of the hip, the back of the heart, the back of the head, right? And we had our knees bent at the beginning of class, our feet were on the mat, and then pull the belly button in and up, support the spine. Good. Now, nothing changes in my low back as I lift to rise. Good. Yeah. Try again. Bend the knees. Push the bum back. Nothing changes in the low back. Squeeze the butt muscles as you lift to stand. Better. Belly button in. So think core here as you go down, and think the butt muscles to lift you up. Okay, you have one more. Yep. Steady through the spine, from the tailbone to the crown of the head. You're just creating a new pattern where you never stand up from your low back. You stand up from your glutes. Okay, now we're going to hip hinge forward. Take your hands to the fronts of your shin bones. Use the straight arms, pushing into your shin bones. Pull your chest forward. Okay, so then I'm going to keep bending my knees just at the knees until I can get my fingertips and step left leg back. Yep. And then plant your palms and step your right foot back, down dog, and find lumbar curve. Let that be your priority. Good. So I put my awareness on my pubic bone and I try to pull it back between my inner thighs even more. Good. Knees to the mat, tabletop. Hands to hips. Now remember, even here, Maria, when you lift up, I'm not lifting up from my low back. I'm creating the hip hinge. And so I have to use my core to come up. Left foot steps forward. Right foot steps forward to stand. Only difference this time is you're going to interlace your hands behind your hips. That's going to help. Yep. Keep your spine in extension. Bend your knees. Hip hinge. Keep lifting the chest. Feel the channel of your spine and then press up to stand. Inhale. Squeeze the bum. Exhale. Hip hinge in. Yep. One more. Lift up. Creating that new pattern. Halfway hip hinge. Feel the chest open just like it would in a cobra. And then you're going to take the hands to the front of your shin bones. Push into them to help you to shrug your shoulders back. And then as I keep bending the knees, fingertips are going to touch for balance. Right leg will step back. Very good. Yep. So you keep your low back long. And then left foot steps back. Deep bend into the knees as you find your downward facing dog. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, take your knees down onto the mat and you're going to grab your double blocks. Coming up high. Then right foot will step forward, back, left knee will lift as you find your lunge. Okay. Then we're going to straighten the front right leg. Now flex your foot. I don't normally tell you that. So pull the foot up off the mat and then find a place for your blocks where your spine feels long. Can you find lumbar curve? I think you have to walk your blocks back a little bit more, Maria. Yep. Walk them back. Remember the feeling of the chest lifting. And then can you tap that left knee down as you try to keep your right leg straight? Yeah. Good. And then as we push into our left toes, lift the knee back up. Trying to keep the front leg straight and the spine stable. Yeah, right leg straight. All right, let's just try one more. So lock your spine, lock your right knee, lift the left knee. There you go. Good. Put your back left knee down. Walk your blocks back even more. All I care about is lumbar curve. That's the wrong way. The other way. Yes. That's all you're doing. How much can you exaggerate that? And against that work, you should feel the pull on the hamstring as you try to straighten your front right leg. Okay, so just like a series of questions I ask myself. Do I feel that channel? Do I feel my low back engaging? And it should give you a stretch to the hamstring. Good. Push into your blocks, fold right leg back in. And usually you'll have the pattern now down on the second side. Left foot steps forward. Good. Back right toes tuck. lifting that back knee. Okay, straighten your front left leg as you flex the foot. Yeah, I just reposition my blocks, lumbar curve, and then tap the right knee down, trying to keep everything stable. Better. Push into your right toes and lift the back knee. So learn to move from the leg. Good. Tap, control spine, push, lift, shift the weight. Belly button is in, brace in through core. Try 2 more. Tap and lower. Yep. Inhale, long spine. Good. And then right knee down. Control, walk your blocks back as much as you need to, and hamstring stretch. Flex your left foot even more. Lumbar curve. Move the bum. Yes. So, yep. It's always that feeling of pubic bone pulling back between the inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, push into the blocks. Pull that left leg back. Okay. Hip hinge as you come up to kneeling. Core is in. Step your right foot forward and then step to stand. I'll have you turn to face me, and we're just going to do body weight. Okay. So you're going to turn your toes slightly open. And then I'd like you to work what is your full range of motion now. Yep. Press into your heels and stand all the way back up. As your thighs press open, your tailbone gets to drop through, decompressing the spine. Inhale up. And 5. Okay, 4. Back up. Yep, so I slide down. Nothing shifts about my low back. Better. Yep, so it goes deep into that hip joint as you strengthen the base. 2. Then you're going to take 1 more. Good. As you stand up, take your feet wider, heels in, toes out, and then go into your sumo squat, trying to bring your sitting bones down in line with your knees. Back up, inhale. Okay, try to lift the quadriceps, engage there, and then slide down. Find your edge. It should spread the pelvis apart, sinking down and in. 5. Nice and controlled. Everything in my upper body is very stable. 4. Good. Push the knees open. 3. Right? I'm even keeping like my hand at my low back to make sure that that's not moving. 2. 1. Okay, now Maria, grab your weight and rack your weights. Okay, so keeping that light. Let's see what 5 of these look like at first. So all the way down, full range of motion. Belly is in, straight spine, up. Good. Inhale. Belly in. Exhale. Strengthen the legs. Stronger the legs, stronger the spine. It helps lift you up and out of the hips. Okay, last 3. Lighten the toes. 2. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, I'm going to put 1 weight down. You're going to goblet squat your weight. So you're kind of holding one edge and then go back into your wide sumo squat. Yep. Okay. Imagine there's a hand at the low back, making sure you maintain. And then you're going to come down and you're going to pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. Inhale. Exhale. If you need any adjustment, kind of like pushing the inner heels forward. The more my inner heels turn forward, I actually already start to feel the outer hips and glute tone. And you have one more. Lower down and little pulse. 10, 9. Belly button in. Brace. Put on your corsets. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. Okay. Release that down. Now I've got both weights out in front of me. I'm going to put my thumbs right where I want to move from, because we all learn through kinetics, like through touching our own bodies. My femur bones are stable. I feel my spine, my hips and my spine rotate forward. My knees have to be bent. That was all the work that you're doing. And then you're going to grab your weights. Okay. I'm going to shift. So I've got cow. You can stay there just so you could see me. Yep. I've got full cow. And now with the weights up to stand. Good. Okay. So this is a Romanian deadlift. I think there's like a bedstand table back behind you, right? The movement is push your bum back as much. Oh, that's excellent. Very good. As much back as you can. Okay. Keeping the weights kind of away from the body as you lift back up. And then you start to ask yourself, do you feel your hip moving? Is the front of your core stabilized? And you have 3 more. Lower. Imagine your butt muscles contracting to lift your spine back up. Okay. 2. Trying to keep the shoulder blades on your upper back. And 1. Okay, good. I'm going to put one weight down. I'm going to kind of hold it like that goblet squat. Right knee bends. And then just over your right leg, you're doing that exact same action and pressing back up.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. So I'm going to get light on my left toes. I've got to imagine the thumb at the top of that right hip crease. And you lumbar curve. The range of motion isn't so important. Oh, so you just rounded your spine, right? So the range of motion isn't as important as keeping your lumbar. Good. And then tap back up. Yep. Okay. Smooth on the way down. Transition on the way up. Much better in your low back. Yeah. Let's just do 3 more. Okay. I'd rather you do like 3 more really well. Yeah. I'm liking that work in your hip. All those stabilizer muscles. Belly in. Get nice and tight around the circumference of your spine. Front, back, left, right. Very good. And press back up. Excellent. Okay. Switch the weight. Goblet into the other hand. Micro bend. Imagine the thumb at the top of that left hip. And that's where you're going to hinge in from and lift back up. So you're not lifting from the low back. It should be the strength of your hamstring and your glute lifting you. Yeah. Okay, find a place where you can do 3 more. Take your time. Especially on the way back up, right? Because that's when when you tip forward, you're loading the muscle and then you're contracting it to lift back up. And you have 1 more. Good. Lower and lift. Okay. Release. And we're going to do 1 more with your strap. Okay. So put the strap back up over your knees. Good. And as you turn to face me, we'll just start with our right leg. You're going to take it out, put tension on the strap, and then do your squat until your elbows touch your knees, and then back up. Right foot steps in, left foot out, put the tension, push out, squat down, still pressing out and back up. Yep, I think I'm gonna move your strap just a little bit more down closer to your knees. Yeah, good. Okay, step in control, right foot. Bum goes back towards the bed. Toes are light and fluffy. It's pure hip hinge without letting your knees collapse in. Belly's in. Pure control here. Let's put the hands at the hips. Yeah. Even the fingertips are kind of on the front of your core. Kind of feel the lower abdominals. Press out, step. Feel the outer hips engage, and then squat down into it. Try not to let the knees collapse. And back up. Right foot. Belly's in. Bum back. Hip hinge. There you go. Good. Inhale. Step it out. Holding without moving. We're doing 2 more full rounds. Feel the fold, feel the tension to strengthen the outer hip. This will be 3. So you might notice like how much more open your chest then has been also staying the whole class. When you keep that lumbar curve down and back, weight is in the heels, right? So we press our hips and our knees back. And then 1 more, put the tension, drop the weight into the heels, toes lift up away from the mat, and then come all the way up, okay? Keep your strap. You're gonna come down onto your hands and knees, turning forward. Oh, turn forward onto your hands and knees. Good, and then come to lie all the way down onto your belly. Okay, so we stack our hands underneath our forehead. Let your head be as much in neutral as possible. We're gonna now keep the upper body and hips on the mat. First thing you need to do is connect your pubic bone down towards the floor. Push the pubic bone into the mat. Can you keep the pubic bone on the mat and lift your legs? And then press out. Relax your shoulders and set it all down. Okay, so take it in the stages. Pubic bone presses, you should feel your glutes engaged. Low back should be long then. Belly button lifts up away from the floor. Lift the legs. We're trying to strengthen your low back and press out with straight legs. And then release. You have 3 more. Off through the shoulders, pubic bone presses, legs lift. Press out. So when I'm trying to do new movement patterns, I have to break them down. I have to go slowly. I'm not putting pressure in my low back. I'm trying to strengthen the posterior chain. Glue the pubic bone, lift the belly button, legs up, press out. 3, 2, 1, release. Hands underneath your shoulders, press back up, tabletop, and then sink it all the way back into child's pose. Okay, so that is really essentially our first and only forward fold of class. Now try to breathe into the low back. So we just stabilized and strengthened. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to leave this as kind of like our final pose here. We're going to come up tabletop, keeping the strap with your toes tucked. Do your best cow. Pubic bone pulls back like someone's put a string there, pulling it through the inner upper legs, pulling it up towards the ceiling. Keep it. Downward facing dog. Oh, no, nope. Locked. Yeah, there we go. Yes. That's perfect. And we're pressing out against the strap and dropping the belly towards the floor, sinking the rib cage. Find the channel down your entire spine. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Knees to the mat. Shift the legs forward. Take your strap off. Okay, so when I just lie down, was coming to lie down, like my whole back just cracked, right? Because it actually release tension. How does your sacrum feel on the mat now since the beginning of class? And then the way we finish this is left knee in towards the chest. I want you to extend your right leg forward. Make sure there's not a pulling on the front of your spine from the muscles in the front of the hip. How long can you make your right leg? Left foot steps down into the mat. Right knee pulls in towards the chest. So see what I mean? As soon as I pull my knee in towards my chest, my low back rounded. If I'm not careful. And then I extend the left leg. So that's the, like, I mean, it's all I've been doing today is stuff for low back. And as soon as I pull my knee in, I round, right? And that pushes those discs out. And then they start to press into the spinal nerves. And that's where you're getting the pain is the pain of the bulging disc pushing. So if we lock the low back, they don't bulge out and you won't feel as much pain. And then step those feet into the mat. You're going to take your feet slightly wider than your hips and let your knees drop into one another. And then put your hands on your lower abdominals. Letting kind of the heaviness and the heat of the hands remind you to stay soft through the inner upper thighs, tops of the thighs. You have this feeling that your pubic bone is flowing forward. As you just take a short rest, what do you feel in the like kind of upper leg, hip, or low back region? And then to come up from here, you're going to prop yourself up onto your elbows. Cross your ankles and push yourself all the way up to find seated. Yep. And then you can go wide knees, uncrossing the ankles, right? So that the legs lay flat. And then you're just going to come into a final forward fold here. Within the fold, feel the bracing back of your core. Inhale, exhale. And then press yourself back up to center as you find seated. If it helps you to hold onto your knees, like I pull on my knees till I feel I'm up and out of my low back, that my pubic bone slows down. And then hands fold in front of the heart center. Feel the natural curves of your spine as you take your thumbs to your third eye to seal your practice. Jai. Siratma.